I'm sure many parents want their kids to grow up confident, calm, and capable of handling life's challenges, especially when it comes to managing emotions and resolving conflict. And this morning, Dr. Brad Schwall with the Center for Integrative Counseling and Psychology is here to walk us through simple and effective ways to teach our kids how to problem solve and to build de-escalation tactics. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I think this is a really important conversation, especially right now with everything that we're seeing in the headlines. This is a really important conversation to sit our kids down. And so why is it so important to talk to our kids about problem solving skills and de-escalation skills?
Well, staying calm when angry is so difficult, and yet it's so important to relationships, to safety. We even think about scripture talking about being quick to listen and slow to speak and slow to anger. So we've been talking about this for a very long time, and the key is helping our kids to learn how to both regulate their emotion as well as problem solve and find other solutions to stay out of conflict.
You know what? I think as parents have this conversation with their kids, they might even be reminding themselves of some de-escalation skills that they can use on themselves, maybe in the workplace. But what age do you think is the right age to start having these conversations with your kids?
From right away. So when we are talking to our 2-year-olds, we're using feelings language, mad, sad, glad, afraid. We're helping kids learn to identify their feelings from a very early age. That time in our child's life as well, we're modeling how to respond. And so children are very impressionable at a young age. So we need to start very early in talking about feelings, and then gradually we move into helping in problem solving.
Those are some really good points, actually. And you're right, kids watch everything they do, and they kind of reenact it in a way. And so making sure that we use good skills ourselves on those around us is so important. And so what are maybe some key tips for helping a child learn those de-escalation skills?
We need to talk about it. So when our kids are angry, we need to name it, and then also talk about ways to calm down, taking a deep breath, leaving the room, doing something else. Second, we need to practice it. Use teachable moments to practice dealing with anger from the basics. Sometimes it's a little bit easier when their favorite popsicle flavor isn't available. Maybe that's a little bit easier to practice on. So I know you're angry, you wanted that, and but there will be another time that you'll get that. So that reflecting, helping them see that there's other alternatives, and then as we said, model. So talk about it, practice it, and then model it ourselves. So when we are frustrated, making sure that we take a beat and stop and think about what we're going to say. And first, start to listen to understand the other. And that's the hardest thing for adults to do.
Yes, that is so true. That is so true. Let me ask you this, because what do you think the consequences are of a parent maybe negating having this conversation, or saying, oh, they're just kids, or they'll grow out of it, right? What is the consequence of not having that conversation and being real with your kid?
We want to teach our children how to face challenges in life. We are never going to avoid, get away from frustration or conflict. Being able to handle conflict is core to success in life, in relationships, in school, and work. So if we don't address it, there's a safety concern as well, because when we don't manage emotion, that can lead to serious consequences, like even violence. So by focusing on helping our kids to think first and to work through various solutions, brainstorming solutions to a problem, we're giving them a skill for life.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you think right now? Because I think we're talking about solutions, right? So what is something we can implement today, right now, at home? The kids are already out of school, so they're already at home probably working each other's nerves. And so tell me, what is something parents can implement today?
Today, what they can do is when their child is frustrated, no matter what it is, say, it looks like, it seems like you're getting angry, let's both take a deep breath. Little kids, we can squeeze the oranges and then shake the juice off. So there are some of those calming interventions that we can use. Now, when our kid is really escalated, sometimes that becomes a battle. We want to talk about emotions also when our kids are calm, but that taking a deep breath, even naming the feeling, and even asking, what are you wanting to happen? So helping our kids learn to express what they're wanting, what they were expecting. And so by saying, what are you wanting to happen, it gives them a chance to say what they're wanting.
And communicate their feelings as well.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the whole point of what they really want, is to get their feelings out on the table. They just don't know that.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what?
Yeah.
These are very good tips today. If you could, can you tell me where can people find you if they have more questions or they want to learn more about how they can teach their kids these skills? Yes.
So our therapists and psychologists at the center, this is what they do every day. And they're teaching those very practical skills. And they can be found at thecentercounseling.org. And that's all of our social media handles, The Center Counseling on Facebook, on Instagram. And we have tips that people can use even if they're not going into counseling.
Yeah.
But parents need to be proactive, because there certainly are other challenges that can keep kids from learning how to stay calm. But we need to be proactive, and we need help as adults, because it's hard for us to. So get help, but staying calm, treating others as people, not as things. When we're angry, and listening to them first makes a big difference in our families, but also our communities.
Very, very good tips this morning. Thank you so much, Dr. Schwall, for being here this morning.
Thank you.